Halloween versus Santa Claus. Who's gonna win? I hate clowns. Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. Another video here on the Crusaders for Christ channel. Appreciate you joining me and taking some time out of your busy day. And hopefully you enjoy this video. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the other videos. So if you did, please hit that like and subscribe button. This video today, I'm sure, is probably going to make some people mad. Some people might disagree with me. That is completely fine. But if you would, put some comments down below. Let me know why you disagree, or if you do agree. Do you celebrate the different holidays I'm going to be talking about today? I'm sure I'm going to make somebody mad, and for that, I apologize. But I just try and come at it from a unique angle. But without further ado, let's dive into this. I've watched no less than 20 videos, at least that many, on should we or shouldn't Christians celebrate Halloween. You can get into the whole debate on what the term celebrate really means. Is just going out with your friends, having some good clean fun considered celebrating, or do you actually have to go out and sacrifice some chickens and virgins and stuff like that to really be celebrating? But I see a lot of these videos on Halloween, and some of them are like, it's okay, use modesty, and others are like, not at all, blah blah blah. And if that's your view, well then that's completely fine. But I want us to look at some other issues here with Halloween and some other things. With Halloween, very few videos actually get the whole history of Halloween, because it's so many different angles involved with it. There's actually the Catholic Church involved. There's some Celtic background with the Feast of Solomon. I think that's how it's pronounced. Solomon, something like that. Solomon. I don't know. Where, there were sacrifices and to demigods and stuff like that. And then there's the Catholic Church, where actually November 1st is what they call All Saints Day, where they would actually go out and they would celebrate the different saints that had passed on before them. Some of them would actually go from door to door, asking, especially the rich people, for treats or for money, so they could go to the priest, give them money so they can try and get their loved ones out of purgatory. But like I said, November 1st is All Saints Day, but the Catholics call it Hallows Eve, because if you take out that word and look at it, hallow obviously means holy, Eve means before. So that was why they would call it Halloween. And the Catholic Church would do that a lot with different holidays, where they would try and cover up some of the old paganistic celebrations and rituals, and they would try and put more holy or Christian emphasis on those days, and try and hope people would forget, the old ways, so to say. But again, a lot of people talk about Halloween, but they don't talk about any of the other holidays. And so I want to get into some of that, and then please watch this video to the end. I beg you, please watch it to the end and listen to what I have to say at the very end in regarding to all this. So let's look at Christmas. Christmas was actually a festival, a Germanic festival, where they would sacrifice to the gods of harvest, and they would call this part of the season Yuletide, which is in the midwinter solstice, after the crops and stuff, and they would call it Yuletide. Well, what events happen in Yuletide is, depending which part of the world you're in, it'd either be the god Odin or the god Woden would lead a procession, and he would have 8 gray horses, and he would lead different souls and spirits through the sky on a hunt for other souls and spirits. Sometimes they would be led by elves or fairies, but he would have his procession. He'd have a big long beard. He'd have a gray robe, and he would lead these hunts. And as time went on, in the North American version, the horses changed to reindeer. And of course, everyone knows reindeer is more scarier than horses. But also with that, the Saint Nick, Father Christmas, Santa Claus, all those names eventually changed, and they took different parts of different beliefs and practices, and they kind of created Santa Claus. Which a lot of Christmas, as Christians, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, which, again, the Catholic Church changed the time of it, because most Christians know that Jesus wasn't actually born in December. It was more towards the middle of the year. But the Romans would also celebrate another god, a god of harvest at that time. And one of the traditions they would give gifts during this festival, during Yuletide, where they would give different gods in the form of clay, and people would take them home, and they would display them in a little display, and that's where we would get our nativity scene. Different pagan traditions, the gift giving, the Santa Claus image, stockings, mistletoe, caroling, different trees and decorations, that all came from pagan practices and stuff. And we as Christians, we've incorporated them into Christmas. And, for the most part, it's harmless, but you got to look at Santa Claus, It's kind of creepy, the origins, that he was actually, where they got the tradition from was, a different god leading a hunt for souls and spirits and stuff, and it's kind of creepy if you think about it, where he knows if you're sleeping, he knows if you're awake, he knows if you're in bad or good, so be good, for goodness sake. It's kind of creepy. He knows when you're sleeping, knows when you're awake. That's kind of creepy if you think about it, and he uses magic, and it's actually where they got the term magic mushrooms from, because this god would feed the horses and reindeer these mushrooms to make them fly, and that would give him the power to fly, and he's got this magical power to go down through chimneys and everything. And if you've ever worked in children's ministry or you're a parent, I can almost guarantee that somewhere down the line you have lied about Santa Claus, because we know he's not real. And I probably should have said not to have kids watch this video before I started that. But, that's a lie. You're telling your kids, you better be good or Santa Claus isn't going to come. Or if you're good, he is going to come. Something gets a white lie or it's harmless, but it's still a lie. But it's something that we promote. And Santa Claus has changed over the years in regards from having this gray robe to it was a green robe and then a blue robe. And the legend has it that I've looked it up. It's true. You can go look it up. And I expect you to go look up all these facts, because I'm just kind of hitting the highlights of them all. That Coca-Cola did a very profitable campaign, and they took Santa Claus, they put him in red and white robes, and hence the color of Coca-Cola, the white and the red, and it just seemed to stick because people liked the colors. They were bright and vibrant, and eventually it changed to the little boots and the black belt and everything. But we got to think about this because, Santa Claus, he works with elves and fairies who are basically, they're involved in this wild hunt, which is, basically based on evil spirits and stuff like that. But I see churches, they have Santa Claus all the time. Come on in, get a picture with Santa Claus with your kid, sit on his knee, tell Santa Claus what you want for Christmas, and churches promote this. Okay? Now again, please watch this video to the end, okay? Because I'm not saying that there's not going to be any sarcasm in this video, but please. But that's basically Christmas right there. Romans, they did the same. They had another feast in regards to harvest and everything, where they would drink, party, sacrifice and everything. But, a lot of my report cards that said, Corey never knows when to quit. You know what? And I don't, because I'm going to another holiday that we all love. And celebrate Easter. Oh, no, don't go to Easter. You can't talk on Easter. Well, I'm about to. As Christians, we celebrate the death and resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. And we should. We absolutely should. But my opinion, we should do it every day and not once a year. Now, Easter, the actual name Easter, actually came from the name Istore, which actually is the goddess of spring. And when she would come, they would feast and they would drink. And for every glass of wine that you would drink, it added a year to your life. And with that, the Easter bunny would show up from her. She would send these rabbits out, these bunnies, and they would deliver eggs and candies to people, which symbolized rebirth and fertility. And that's Easter. So I've also seen churches, almost every church has some sort of Easter egg hunting, some Easter egg contest or something. And I've been part of churches where have the largest in the state, which is amazing. But again, that's from pagan. That's from different gods that people worship. Really? But we're all dogging on Halloween. Halloween's the only one that gets a bad rap. But let's go to another holiday where I'm sure everybody sometime in your life you have gotten, whether it's in third grade, last year, a few months ago, you got a little card saying, "Be my Valentine." Oh no, I'm going there. Yeah, we're gonna make Al Capone look tame on this one. Yeah, we've all celebrated Valentine's Day and how much money we pump into that holiday, buying candies and taking our loved one out for dinner. Well, that holiday is based again on another pagan holiday. Valentine's Day was basically based on the feast of, if I could pronounce it right, Lupercalia, which is basically a festival based on fertility. It was dedicated to the god Phanes, the god of fertility, where the priests would sacrifice dogs and goats, and then they would take the hides of the goats and dogs, slice them up into strips, dip them into blood, and then they would whip the women with those strips, trying to make them more fertile. And then the men would all gather up, they'd line up in like in a lottery type of fashion. They would pull names out of an urn, and they would pick the women that they want. So that is the basis of Valentine's Day. So that's really shows how much love there is involved. Yeah, gotta love that. That's Valentine's Day. But again, we celebrate that. It's totally harmless. No problem with that. But again, on my report card, it always said, Corey never knows when to quit. Well, I'm going one step further. What about the holiday, or some consider it a holiday, where we all gather and we eat tons and tons of food, and we drink wildly, and we scream and yell at this little tube with men attacking other men and beating them up in almost a form of combat in a Coliseum type atmosphere. Oh, I know some of you think I'm talking about Thanksgiving, but no, I'm talking about the Super Bowl. That's not a holiday. Well, we as Americans, we treat it like a holiday. We all gather. That's one of the most, besides New Year's, which is another holiday we can talk about, but I'm probably going to skip it in this video. But where we drink so much alcohol, we scream profanities at the TV when our team's not losing. And we got to think back, where did football came from? It came from Rome. It came from gladiator sports, where they were doing it in the Colosseums, which was sports, and then it went into persecuting Christians, dressing them up like animals. So, and then they released lions and tigers and bears and let them attack Christians. Or they would wrap them in tight skins, pour wax on them, set them on fire so they could light up the Colosseum. Different gladiators, different soldiers. They would make the Christians look like the bad guys. They would make them victims of a war reenactment. And this is where all football came from. But yet, we celebrate all of that stuff. A lot of people skip church on Sunday because of that. Yes, skip church. Why don't you record it? You know, if it's that important to you. And what about churches actually canceling services? I've seen churches where they cancel service so they could go and celebrate the Super Bowl. Now you see all these that I've talked about. All the pagan foundations that they all have. But you look around the world, it's everything came from pagan. You look at your calendar. Sunday, that's based on the sun god. Monday, based on the moon god. So as Christians, what are we going to do about it? I mean, we can't. My thing about this video is we can't pick and choose what we're going to preach against because it's convenient for you or convenient for me. And if some of you disagree with celebrating Halloween, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to celebrate it. But let's look at the other holidays too that have pagan backgrounds. You know, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter. You want to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ? Absolutely. We absolutely should. And there's nothing wrong with that. That should be what we're celebrating. Same thing with Easter. We should be celebrating the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. That's what we should be celebrating. All these other things you can sit here and discuss. Is the Easter bunny is harmless for little kids? Yeah, probably. Getting eggs and candy, you know, and hiding for eggs. You know, as long as we teach our kids what the real reason for the season is. Same thing with Christmas. Is Santa Claus evil? You can debate that. I know a lot of Christians that don't celebrate the Santa Claus part, which is totally fine. But what we've done as Christians is we made things so legalistic. And we take our beliefs and we throw them down other people's throats so bad that we end up pushing them away. If you disagree with celebrating these holidays, that's absolutely fine. Let the Spirit guide you. If that's what you morally feel, well, then that's great. But if you're going to share your beliefs with somebody else on that and why you don't celebrate this holiday or that holiday, do it with love. Because I've seen a lot of Christians where maybe somebody's on the borderline of wanting to come to church or getting involved, and they end up pushing them away because even though their beliefs may be right or lined up with the Bible, the way they approach it and tell people, it pushes them away. And I've had a lot of people, their exact words were, I don't go to church anymore because it's too legalistic. Well, some people have done that. Some Christians have pushed people away from that. And we as Christians, we need to get back to showing the love for the church. Now, with Halloween, back in the day, we had 5 or 6 of us guys that we hung out together. And every year, we would put on a Halloween party. And we would call it a Halloween party. And our goal was always to have everybody to walk away from that party saying they had a good time and they enjoyed it. And that was our true goal. We even back then, we didn't make a lot of money, but each of us pitched in money, and we would try and make food. We would cook. We would decorate. We would put wood down over the whole floor, different times, different parts of the house to make it look like this part of, this time, and we decorate this floor this time. And we would have over 120 people in one house, and we would have parents come up to us at different times, different guys, different parents, and they would say, hey man, I really am thankful you guys did that, because little Susie came, she brought her friend, and now her friend is going to start coming to church. Because we wanted to show people that as Christians, you can have a good time and not do anything that you're going to regret the next morning. And I don't say that to try and brag or anything, but I say that to show that you can have a good time with this kind of stuff. And we didn't sacrifice no virgins or no cats or dogs or anything that any evidence has been found yet about that. But as Christians, we can have fun. We can do good times without, doing something that we're going to regret. I don't see any problem with kids dressing up in costumes as long as they're modest, as long as they're not doing something satanic or anything like that. Some costumes, and women should not be dressing up like that naughty nurse or that naughty little cat outfit that draws attention to different parts of your body. If you're not going to dress up like that on Sunday, then you shouldn't be dressing up in a costume like that. And same thing with guys, goes the same way. So again, please use caution when you do this. If as Christians, if you're going to preach everything, then make sure you cover everything. Don't pick and choose what's easiest for you. It's easy to pick on Halloween, but let's look at the other things. Just because you're ignorant doesn't make you innocent. So again, let's do our research and all this stuff, and let God guide you in what you should and shouldn't do, and He will. But again, I thank you. This video is a little long, and I apologize for that. But I just want to get into these different topics and everything, and please put some comments down. Let me know what you guys think about this. Are you for or against? What about these other holidays? Just let me know in the comments, guys. And again, I appreciate you guys watching this channel. Please let me know what you think. It always helps this channel out anytime you guys do anything, and share it. And I love you guys. And you guys, we'll talk to you in the next video. So peace out. Crusaders for Christ. Love y'all. Talk to you later.